Okay, so the task was that you needed to write a review of a game that you have either been playing recently or have played a lot of, so that the review was easier for you because it was either in recent memory or you've got a lot of experience of it, and it would be unfair if I didn't have a go as well. So this is my one. This isn't my footage, by the way, just in case you want, because there might be some flashes that come up on the screen that you'll recognise. But it was easy for me just to do the voice recording this time around and then stick it underneath the video footage for you. But I chose Ultra Street Fighter 4. It's an old game. I think it's in this version it's a good 2 years old, I think now. But it's a game that I constantly play, and it is always in my recent games list. And it's one of those games that I play in between other games, which sounds ridiculous, but if I've played a long open world game, or if I've played an RPG or something, and I just want a quick 10 minutes or a quick 20 minutes or something like that of a gameplay that's something different, then this will be the game that I go to and pick up. And I've always played this version. I've not played the lighter versions that were initially released. I picked up Ultra Street Fighter 4 from the get-go. So I had a lot of the new input of this game from the start. So positives from this, there's a huge roster of characters, new characters that were introduced that have a really distinct feel about them, have their own style of gameplay that you can play around with, and that develops nicely into the mechanics and the fighting system of this game. Yes, there's the standard stuff that you'll know and you'll be familiar with if you've played any Street Fighter game, but then there's the development of the ultra moves and how you can pull off super moves throughout the game in different ways. And just as a whole package, they've really thought about everything. So you've got a training area, you've got an arcade mode, you've got a story mode that you can pick up any part of and go through. In terms of negatives, I would say that the story mode of this is still really light and very basic in comparison to new games that are out, new versions that are out in terms of things like Injustice and even Mortal Kombat itself. We'll wait and see what the new Tekken game might bring and how the storyline plays out in that. But the storyline of this is really light and quite a weak part of the game itself. That aside, I would suggest that that's not why you pick these games up, whether you're enjoying these games from a professional point of view, whether you're just picking them up as a casual player. You're not going for the storyline, you're going for the immersement of the gameplay and the different elements that brings. I really liked it because it's just fun, and you can just play around with it, and you can try out different characters, and you can drop in and out of a tree of events as you're going through if you want to. So you can play those characters all the way through their storyline, or you can just pick up a couple of stages and a couple of matches and try them out and see what you go. I really enjoy the practice mode and just trying to pull off the different ultra modes and working out how that will play out in a real game scenario. Old characters have been tweaked and developed a little bit. Some bits and pieces that you'll notice if you've played previous versions of the game, others that you wouldn't. It's just tweaks or it's extensions of how much damage their hits might do. But as an overall game, I just love it. It's great to jump into. It's great to just play for a little bit. It's also great to lose hours of time on if you're just trying to master a different character and a new character, of which there are many and lots of variations as well. So my game was Ultra Street Fighter 4. I really enjoy it. I play it an awful lot in between other games. Negatives, like I say, you don't play these games for the storyline. And I would say that sometimes the online presence as well, something that I forgot about, but the online presence of these games aren't always great. That's not really a problem for me because I don't play these kind of games online much. But you'd be able to get it really quite cheap now, I would suggest. So if you like beat 'em ups, or if you've not played a Street Fighter game for a long while, I would suggest this one, and I would suggest this one over Street Fighter 5. I didn't get that simply because I was waiting to see what the reviews were going to be like, and actually once I played it a little bit on someone else's setup and and read some of the reviews and looked at how they released that, I preferred this version. It had loads of characters that I'm still playing through and still trying to master at different points, whereas the newer version wasn't that much different in terms of the visual style, I thought, and definitely the mechanics were very similar. And you were being forced to buy season passes or to update it in different ways and spend more money to get the same amount of characters that you picked up on there. Yes, there are benefits, I'm sure, of the new game, but I stuck with this one and still pick it up on a regular basis. So that was my review. If you've had a chance to listen to this before the lesson, then hopefully you've got some idea of where we're going with this. I'd like you to be ready to share your reviews, not necessarily with everyone, but we'll work on those definitely today's lesson, probably over the next few lessons as well, to see what games we've all played, and we will go from there. I'll see you in the lesson.